I love that song.
That was The Nightmare Before Christmas. What's this? From the movie Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, not directed by Tim Burton.
Yeah. It was directed by Henry Selick.
Yeah.
Selick, I think that's how you pronounce his name. And I think he got a little bit of a bum deal about it because I think most people tend to associate Nightmare Before Christmas with Tim Burton.
Right? I mean, it is his art design, but
It is his art design. I mean, and it is also based on his original idea. It's based on a poem that he wrote in the early 80s when he was still, I think, a conceptual artist for Disney.
yes.
And he was trying to get it done as a short film, and then developing it as a feature, and ultimately decided that he didn't want to direct it. And Henry Selick is an amazing director. He's directed one of my favorite movies. It's like a cult classic. Didn't do well when it came out, but I love this movie, Monkey Bone.
Oh, Monkey Bone.
Yeah, with Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
And he also directed Coraline and James and the Giant Peach. I mean, he's done a lot of really, really fantastic work.
That's tricky though, because like you think about it, Coraline, people think of that Neil Gaiman.
Yeah.
James and the Giant Peach, and people think of Roald Dahl. I'm like, oh shit, no one's thinking of you as an author.
But I mean, in a way, maybe, I mean, who knows how he really feels about it? But in a way, that's kind of cool. You get to be involved in all of this stuff, but you don't have any of the, you don't have to deal with anyone like fucking like bugging you and shit.
And who wrote the music?
The music is Danny Elfman.
So
Danny Elfman. So and Danny Elfman
and
is
lyrics and all of that.
That's all Danny Elfman, as far as I know, and Danny Elfman is also the singing voice for Jack Skellington. Yeah, and Chris Sarandon is the speaking voice. Chris Sarandon, the bad guy from the original Fright Night. I mean, he's also been in a bunch of stuff as well. Like since then, he was also in fucking Princess Bride. I mean, he's done a ton of stuff. But I mean, I remember the first time I saw Nightmare Before Christmas. Unfortunately, I didn't see it on the big screen. I saw it on pirated VHS, as so many of us did back then. But even then, I mean, I loved it immediately. And I mean, the story, real quick. I mean, in Halloween Town, so Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King, he's basically the guy who is in charge of Halloween, and is the one that brings sort of Halloween cheer or whatever to Halloween Town. And he's bored. He's bored with Halloween, and he's kind of lost his mojo. He's sort of going through this kind of existential crisis, and he's wandering in the woods where all the trees have doors that lead to the worlds of other holidays. So like, you got this door leading into Thanksgiving world or Independence Day or whatever. And he stumbles to the doorway to Christmas Town and falls in, like this gust of wind like just drags him in. And it's when he first arrives in Christmas Town that he sings this song. Like, what's this? And he ends up at the end of that video, it introduces Santa. And so Jack Skellington kidnaps Santa and takes him back to Halloween Town to study him, to basically figure out what the fuck is Christmas, because it just makes no sense to him. And in the end, he abandons that, and he's like, fuck it, I can't figure this out. I'm just going to make it better. and then proceeds to try and take Santa Claus's place to disastrous results. But it's an amazing film. It's really funny. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Actually, I think also on net.
What was the name of the main bad guy? That sack?
Oogie Boogie.
The Oogie Boogie. That was freaky.
Yeah, the Oogie Boogie song is also another fucking banger. I mean, like, I mean, this song, like, what's this is a banger in a movie full of bangers. There's no bad song in this movie. This is one of the best musicals I think I've ever seen. Like, there's another song like "This Is Halloween," which is basically the Halloween version of "What's This." Jack's Lament, where he's walking through the woods trying to figure out what's going on, and the Oogie Boogie song is genuinely creepy. It's a genuinely creepy song. But yeah, it's one of my favorite musicals, and holds true to my opinion that the best musicals, or rather the easiest musicals for me to enjoy, are the ones that don't feature real people. They're either animated or like puppets, like Team America or stuff. Most of the musicals that I really love are mostly animated. So like this one, South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut. Live action musicals that I like, I love Across the Universe, and I love Moulin Rouge. But for the most part, the musical genre is the hardest genre for me to enjoy, because I just there's something about going from spoken word to singing, that transition, that something gets lost in translation for me, and it almost always loses me.
Did you ever in theater do any musical stuff?
Very early on in my career, yeah, because you kind of had to, like in the sense that this was all that was being offered to me, so I took it. But I mean, I was never the lead or anything. I was always like just kind of, I was never that good of a singer. But when you're doing it, it's a little bit different than when you're watching it. When you're doing it, you just kind of, the mechanics of what you're doing just sort of kicks in, and you just sort of get on with it. When I'm watching it, even if it's people that I know, like as soon as like you go from like, well, how was your day, sir? Well, I mean, I cringe, I clam up, I can't take it.
What about Sound of Music?
Fucking hate that movie.
Really?
I hate that movie.
Come on, dude! It's a nun versus Nazis.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, that's a movie I want to see that's a movie I want to see the fucking gritty remake.
With Julie Andrews still in it, like this time it's fucking personal.
Yeah, with the ghost of Chris Plummer. Nuns versus Nazis. Make that movie.
I bet you someone has. Someone must have made it.
Someone's made it. Someone's made a version of it. Nazis. Probably sucks. But anyway, I mean, like that is my choice for Christmas soundtrack, and because I mean, to me, it was just the perfect balance. Like because it's a really nice balance of dark and merriment. Like it really has that. It hits that sweet spot of being something that that I could really get into at the time. It wasn't like your typical Christmas musical. Yeah.
Okay, well, my next one is from a movie that has always courted controversy, like every year, as to whether or not it's a Christmas movie.
Die Hard.
Die Hard. And the song is a song that I repost every fucking Christmas because it is also my favorite Christmas song of all time. This is Run DMC, Christmas in Hollis.